Hello.
Hi.
Okay. It was fighting me. It was giving me issues. All right. Where's Muerte? I think that's the page he's currently on. Hello, hello.
And we are back. The collective is back in showtime. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was giving me issues trying to start. It just didn't want to do it.
Bitches and hoes.
Glizzy's
I
on.
got I got boats and O's, glizzies and does. Take the means of production.
Alright. Alright.
Start spitting, bro. They're not ready.
Let's go. You got the hot mic. I'll give you a beat. Ready?
All right, let's go. Yo. Yes, I am a Stalinist. Yes, we spit truth. We are diagonal materialists.
Why does it sound like
Bro,
one of those 90s
honestly,
PSAs?
there's way better revolutionary rappers and artists out there. Please go support them. But subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to hear some tankies talk about some theory and
You know, that's
history.
something we should talk about at some point. Is just like music from Marxist and
Mm,
socialist, like left wing,
mm.
like true left
I
wing.
actually, I actually,
Absolutely. I actually was just because Larry always puts bangers in his videos. There was
he
this guy. Have you
does.
guys listened to Daniel Kahn before?
Yeah, I've heard of Daniel Kahn.
Have you, Cruz?
I'm not familiar now.
He's he's a musician. He's like Jewish and Russian or something like that. And I was reading his Wikipedia, and basically he just says that he's like totally not a communist, but he definitely is. If you read his lyrics, but he just makes like Jewish liberation music and like anti-Zionist music, and I don't know, it's just a fucking banger. I would definitely throw a clip in here, but YouTube will definitely take us down.
Yeah,
But I'll show you guys later. It's a pretty sick. He makes good music.
the post show.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I'm very upset right now.
Why?
I have my candle, but I can't find a lighter.
Oh my god.
Mm.
What kind of stoner are you?
That's every stoner's problem right there too.
I got no lighter. I think it's my cat. My cat knocks stuff off my desk.
He's telling you to stop smoking.
Oh, yep, there it is on the floor.
Did you guys spam the lovelies yet?
I'm about to.
Alright. Man, we should like do it all at once.
Just to all the same people, just to piss everyone off.
That's why we get no views anymore.
Like, oh my God, these collective guys. They're extremely based, but man. Every time they go live, I get like 4 notifications from all of them because we're mutuals. So mutuals with all of them. Let's see. I'm sending it to all the communists in my DMs.
In your DMs.
No, communist DMs.
Well, like I guess just like I'm sending the live to their DMs.
My DMs are mostly like people telling me how great I am, and I don't believe them.
I get that too sometimes. Like I'll even get message requests. Like other than the death threats, which I'm kind of grown being used to, which I don't think any normal person should get used to getting death threats all
Mm.
the time. But I've already gotten used to it. I kind of laugh it off, whatever. But it really like warms my heart is when like I'll get a message from like a baby leftist or baby communist or something telling me
Mm-hmm.
how great I'm doing and how
Yeah.
much I inspire them.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I've had a few of those messages and it feels good. It feels nice. And we're doing the thing. guys. We're doing the thing.
Absolutely. And I definitely have been in the mood to do this because, like, I'm feeling kind of depressed. Not gonna lie.
I hear that.
Just with all the real life praxis and all the stuff going on with my union and organizing all that stuff, and it's like, boy, it definitely gets difficult. Sometimes I want to keep going, but when we have based people coming
Mm-hmm.
in to listen to us bitch and moan about capitalism, I mean, it's definitely worth it.
Talking about the news and whatever else comes to mind.
hmm So I guess we should formally say welcome back, Muerte. You have been
Mm.
Yeah,
gone last couple episodes.
I apologize. I'm sure nobody really noticed, but for those who did notice and were worried,
Oh no,
I
we
was
noticed.
I distinctly remember several comments of people going, "Where's Muerte?"
really.
Not
Yeah.
only not only that, but if you go on the drive and listen to that episode, have you done it yet?
I haven't listened to it. No, not
Bro,
yet.
it's crazy. And I edited it to really make it funny, but it's pretty wild. You'll appreciate it. It's definitely our most unhinged off the rails episode.
I remember that. I think you guys were telling me how that day you guys were just kind of in the mood, in that mood.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. But glad to have you back while you were doing your real life praxis. We're a little light on the crew today. No
It's like you came
Cutie,
back.
no Larry, but that's okay. We got Muerte to fill a void.
Larry may join later. Cutie's not feeling good tonight. No,
Sound good.
I'm sure
They're
that.
still beautiful. We still love them, and we wish them Godspeed recovery.
Absolutely.
And then he just leaves.
Oh, that'd be a part of my character arc, just super mysterious,
Mhm.
Muerte. I'm like the Batman of the crew. A Batman.
I'm
Oh,
Batman.
I guess off topic a little bit. Before becoming a communist, I used to be a big like Batman stan, but now that
Yeah,
I'm a communist,
That was
fuck
funny.
Batman.
that was hilarious.
Spider-Man is a working class superhero.
What?
Yes.
What did you just say?
I said Spider-Man is a working
Oh,
class
I thought you
superhero.
said Batman. I was like, bro,
No,
what the
no,
fuck are you talking about?
no. Batman's a bourgeois, deviancy, bourgeois trash.
Absolutely.
Batman,
Spider-Man is the working class superhero of the neighborhood. We
Yeah.
Batman
love
is the
Spider-Man.
perfect example of someone that really does have the power. Like he's got all this money. He could make some genuine change because of the power
Yes,
and influence he has, but he chooses to beat up poor mentally ill people.
right. He decides to beat up poor,
He's a
you
cop.
know, victims to
He's literally a cop.
capitalism. Yeah, he literally is a cop. No ifs and or buts about it. I don't give a shit. I prefer red. I prefer like uh Red Hood because Red Hood actually tried to unalive Batman after Batman left him to rot. But I think we strayed off topic a little bit.
A little bit, a little
Sorry
bit.
guys. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, we'll,
Come
we'll,
on, with
we'll,
little
we'll close
little.
that off with Spider-Man himself said it. Great power comes great responsibility. Like, duh. But,
Spider-Man's a communist straight up, bro. R.I.P. Uncle Ben.
R.I.P. And the only real Spider-Man is Miles Morales. Anyway, so
Facts.
Marte, now that you're back on the pod, I want to start off by getting you really mad.
Oh
So
no.
here's an article from the Texas, is it Turbine or Turbune? Tribune? There I go. It's the second time that a Texas National Guard member shot a civilian while deployed for Operation Lone Star, and the third known time that a soldier has fired their weapon while on duty on the border. January 13th, specialist Angel Gallegos, I don't know,
Gallegos.
thank you, shot migrant Ricardo Rodriguez Nieto in the shoulder near Mission in the Rio Grande Valley. The soldier claimed he accidentally fired his service handgun while wrestling with Rodriguez, who denied touching
What?
him, and said that the shot was fired from the kitchen into the living room of an abandoned house. Other migrants who witnessed the shooting echoed Rodriguez's version of the events. Uh, according to the interview from the Texas Rangers. Um, yeah, so fuck this guy.
Right. So he shot a Mexican civilian from across the border.
Yep, so let's see what it says here. On the night of August 26th, a National Guard service member assigned to Operation Lone Star discharged a weapon in a border-related incident. A spokesperson for the military department said in a statement, "The incident is under investigation. More information will be made, blah, 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 blah." According to El Diario, a Spanish-language newspaper in Juarez, Darwin Jose Garcia of the southern Mexican state of Veracruz initially told police he was a migrant attempting to cross into the United States. The man later told reporters he was practicing a sport on the Mexican side of the Rio Grande around 8:50 p.m. Saturday while a group of migrants were crossing the river. According to the newspaper, Garcia said he had then heard shots and realized he had been shot in the leg. So this dude was just taking pot shots at him.
Yeah, like there's no conflict, there's no wrestling. He was just shooting and hit him. And it looks like he wasn't actually like I didn't like he wasn't trying to cross the border at all. It sounds like.
No, and I mean, reactionaries are definitely going to believe that this guy was doing that instead of realizing that some people literally live right at the border and go between uh, the regions, so to say.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm more inclined to believe this dude, and he has witnesses backing him up that says that this guy literally was just taking pot shots at him.
You know what? I could already hear the reactionary far right wingers on Twitter or anywhere just clacking their fingers away saying, well, if you would just enter this country illegally, if you just go through the process that every immigrant does, to become a citizen in the United States, one, it takes like 15 to 20 years to get your citizenship. Trust me, I have family members who have tried and have gotten it. And two, it's super hard to become a citizen. And one other thing that I remember is that if you are a member of a communist party from another country, you will not be able to gain citizenship here in America. So
Mhm.
yeah, land of the free, my ass. But I mean, I'm not surprised with the Texas Ranger trying to cover it up as just a wrestling match. It's crazy. It's not surprising to see reactionaries not take responsibility for their actions. I mean, brick wall is all I can say, to be honest.
Let's get a face in.
Face that one right there, my friend. We'll paint it. We'll paint it my favorite color, red. Oh, that was a villain laugh, but I don't
Got a
even care.
little collective there. Yeah, maybe be a little more enticing than just a blue symbol.
That was definitely I've thought about this before kind of laugh. Um, and then like as you
Oh, it's
laugh, like
crossed my
Cruz's
mind.
face like came through the green screen,
Mhm.
so it was pretty jarring, and he's just staring right at me through my soul through the camera.
We're definitely not beating the tanky allegations anytime soon.
Oh no!
No, and that's okay. We will
And
we will
that's I wear the tanky title proud.
All right,
absolutely
you ready for my conspiracy theory with the border?
go
let's
for
hear
it.
it.
This is the soft launch of an invasion of Mexico, and they're
Mm.
testing to see how people react.
Hmm.
Because that's something that specifically Republicans, have been talking about, and the Democrats haven't really been like. It doesn't seem like they've been fighting against it too much. But the idea of an invasion of Mexico is very much real.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I believe it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just in denial because I don't want to think about it. But
yeah.
I feel like if that were the case, they definitely would have straight up just killed the guy, or
Mm.
maybe conspire like, oh, migrants rushed at the checkpoint and they killed like four of them or something like that. I don't know, but let me not give the CIA and the walls any ideas.
The voices, the voices.
Oh God. But yeah, basically the Mexicans authorities are still investigating the
You,
situation. Let's see. A year earlier, January 2022, another Texas Guard member used his M4 carbine to disable a Chrysler 300 sedan driven by a suspected smuggler in Laredo. The soldier told investigators that he fired his rifle into the car's engine after the driver, who was arrested after abandoning his vehicle, attempted to run over another Texas National Guard member. Border Network for Human Rights, an El Paso-based immigrants' rights group, condemned Saturday's shooting. I feel like they just threw that line in this paragraph to like, remember, these dirty Mexicans are no bueno.
You know, I think. Go
In
ahead,
order for
Cruz.
their propaganda to work, they have to like maintain the idea that they're a threat.
Right.
That like that's the
Right.
big thing. Like even if even in situations like this where it's like, okay, clearly the U.S. officer is in the wrong here. There's no. It's pretty difficult to spin it any other way.
Right.
But they still have to make it seem like, well, you know, this whole incident wouldn't have happened if Mexicans had just, you know.
And it's you know, it's so crazy. I think your theory, your conspiracy theory on them trying to, you know, this like early stages of them trying to invade Mexico. I kind of see that because conservatives on Fox News have already been calling for that. They've been calling for ever since Mexico nationalized their lithium, they have been calling for the United States to get involved with the cartel traffic states that they have in Mexico, and so they definitely have to keep restraining the people crossing the border as like cartel members bringing drugs and crime and other things to your family. I mean, it's like warmongering. It's absolutely crazy. And I think I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to commit a coup like they are doing in
I
Africa.
think I think what would be more likely than a coup right now would be an attempted false flag.
Mm. Mm.
I
Right.
think a false
Right.
flag would be more likely given proximity.
Mexico's rallying troops against our borders and they're
Hmm.
making nukes. We should be worried. Okay,
No, it
but
would be something like a false flag would be like supposed cartel members or gang members like attack some kind of like station on the border,
Hmm.
and then the U.S. will then say, look, you know, they're not keeping their people in line, so we're going to go basically do it ourselves. And then the Mexican government will either have to comply with that to avoid a greater conflict or go directly into conflict. And the way I see it now, I could see even though Mexico's getting more based, I could definitely see them sort of submitting to U.S. occupation and that becoming a wider conflict in general.
Just for pure survival and any attempt to maintain cultural heritage and all of that, I definitely see them like capitulating in that scenario.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where we would see a sort of wider asymmetric war break out. But, you know, we're just going to see more of this as U.S. hegemony begins to fail,
mm.
and we know.
or or hear me out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All the superpowers start fighting it out and stuff, right? And then they like annihilate each other, or they don't annihilate each other. The communist parties of each countries overthrow the governments while they're at war, and
Perfect.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. This is all in my head. I wish. Although one thing that I did that I believe it was Comrade Cutie Pie who mentioned it, that it would have been a cool scenario that if like if the Wagner chief didn't die and they tried to fight against the Russian army and then they just kill each other and then just the Communist Party just takes over. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, we said
it's
that a couple episodes ago.
USSR 2.0.
Would have been pretty based, if only, if only.
right.
But
Honestly, but the Communist Party of Russia now, they're kind of questionable. But yeah, but that I guess that's a topic for another video.
no,
People are
for sure,
interested to hear
for
about
sure,
that.
for sure. But what I was gonna say was, you know, we're gonna keep seeing more of this kind of stuff as Western hemigy sort of fails around the world, and you know, right now with the situation in Niger, um, ECOWAS basically said like, you guys better get it together, and then they didn't do anything about it. So the current coup government is still in charge. And that seems to have inspired the military of Gabon to have their own coup. So we have an article here. Military coup thrust the Central African nation of Gabon into turmoil Wednesday, unseating the president whose family had held power for more than half a century, just minutes after he was named the winner of the contested election. Ousted President Ali Bongo, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm going to give it a shot. Nope, I'm not. I'm dyslexic, and this is going to go terrible. Ondimba. What do you think that? How do you think you pronounce that? No, I don't know. I see my this is my mixed coming out, my whiteness. All right, well,
Spell it again.
Ondimba.
Bombia.
Nah. Well, anyway, he also goes by the incredible name Ali Bongo. Um, Jeez. Ali Bongo has faced accusations of election fraud and corruption since he began ruling the oil-rich but poverty-stricken nation nearly 14 years ago. Following the coup, residents in the country's capital were seen celebrating and embracing soldiers on the street, but much remains uncertain. With Bongo reportedly under house arrest, his son arrested, all borders closed, and the government ostensibly shut down, international leaders have expressed concerns and condemnation of the coup, some warning their citizens in Gabon to shelter in place. How did the coup happen? The military power grab began Wednesday, shortly after Gabon's election. Authorities said Bongo had re-elected president following last weekend's election. Men in army uniforms announced on national TV that he had seized power. They said the election results were voided, all borders shut, and numerous government bodies dissolved, including both houses of parliament. Coup leaders said Bongo had been placed under house arrest, surrounded by family and doctors. The ousted president's son, Noureddin Bongo Valtin, was arrested alongside 6 others for high treason. So anyway, the article kind of goes on like that. But the important thing to know about Gabon, much like Niger, is its former colonial government had very much close ties with the French, of course. The stinky French. Macron's stinky government. And Bongo and his family have close ties to French oil money, just like in Niger. So it seems like there is definitely a inspiration anti-Western and anti-French and American movement happening now in West Africa, and we'd love to see it.
I want to see more. More!
The empire's shitting itself right now.
Oh, definitely. I mean, France is shitting itself, and and they still got that whole protest, and they still got people rioting in France, I believe. So they don't got time to deal with Africa right now.
That's one of those things. It's like all this stuff's happening, in Africa, but the internal struggles of France are still ongoing as well. Like the people are revolting, and they're still in a way colonies are also revolting at the same time. So like Macron is definitely shitting himself. He probably goes through 3 pairs of pants a day.
I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't stepped down, to be honest.
Yeah, he's really looking at himself, setting himself up to get Rose-Pierre'd.
He's like, if I'm going out, I'm going out.
No, for sure. Man, when that picture came out where he was standing next to President Xi, and you guys ever seen the green line, red line comparison? Yeah, when he's just like
definitely the alpha beta.
Yeah, definitely the beta in that case. Yeah, I just scrolled down on the article, and of course, it's the usual suspects who condemned the coup: the United States, France. Not ECOWAS, its counterpart. I might pronounce it wrong, but ECAS, it's just ECCAS. All condemned the African Union, saying that this is against democracy. But not that in certain circumstances am I against particular term limits, but like when you have a familial hierarchy, and they're obviously not serving the people in their best interests. Like I said, they're oil oligarchs. Like, you got to get got. And he got.
I like how within the article itself, they also they say like why this coup happened without saying it. It's just like he faced accusations of election fraud and corruption since he began ruling the oil-rich but poverty-stricken nation.
Right, you just
Yeah,
described imperialism.
well, there's like everyone seems
The
surprised.
contradictions are contradicting.
Like, why are you surprised? You just said what the problem is.
Right, right. And it's like, what's crazy though is like mad people, people who are not politically educated, not class consciousness, they may read that and not really put those connections together.
Mm,
It's just
right.
like the thing with Mexico. It's like they're saying it, but they can't really like outright say it.
Or else CNN would be
Or else
taken off air.
CNN loses the state sponsorship.
Hey, CNN is a bunch of socialist, communist, Marxist, Judeo-Bolsheviks. Okay,
Mm.
they're Zionists. If they work for the elite. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Leave
Throwing
our
some giggles in there.
leave our Appalachian comrades alone.
I'm sorry. I had to stop using that accent.
I'm going on a tangent now, but I just wanted to click on the China tab on CNN and see what I find.
It's just a lot of what cost.
BRICS expansion is a big win for China, but can it really work as a counterweight to the West? But at what cost?
But at what cost? I saw a comment earlier that said Mexico should join BRICS and or apply to join BRICS. And while I agree, I also in my head the first thought was that's like guaranteed invasion.
Yeah.
At this point, because they're just like, nope, we're gonna treat it like domino theory.
Things are just like a domino effect. Just game. Oh shit! Why am I bleeding?
Xi hails old friend Kissinger during meetings that harks back to the era of warmer ties. Is Xi friends with Kissinger? I'm about to quit this communist stuff.
I did see him refer to Kissinger as like a legendary.
Henry Kissinger, right?
Just like
Yep.
a legendary political person or something like that.
Oh,
I didn't read much farther.
Big cringe.
Not he like praised Kissinger or anything. I just know he referred to him as legendary.
A legendary bitch.
Kind of depends.
Oh my god! I just remembered. I'm taking this podcast off the rails. This dream I had that involved Xi Jinping.
Oh,
No
yeah?
way.
I had a dream. I had a dream
You had a
last
dream
night
about
where
Comrade Xi?
I was in some kind of like rally, like like communist, like not even a rally. It was more like a how do you call it? Like an international congress. Like all the people were there, and I remember like really stressing out about like what suit I wanted to wear. I don't know, real champagne bourgeois stuff. But I remember like I walked in and I noticed that there was Xi Jinping and Mao, and in between them was an empty seat, and I was like, it's my chance. So I sat next to them, right? I'm not even playing right now. And I sat next to them. And then I don't really remember exactly what happened in the dream, but like, Xi was a dick. Like, he was like, and these guys didn't look anything like they look like in real life, but in my head, these were these people, right? And like, Xi was just like, he would like turn around and be like, do you even know like the province of like da 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 da, like something like that? And I would be like, no, and he's like, okay, well then you're not a real communist. And then I would be like super sad, and then like Mao was like, it's okay, little one, don't listen to him, he's just grumpy. I don't know, bro, it was wild. It just
I feel like Mao would be super nice and like comforting and like it's all right, comrade. You're still revolutionary in my eyes.
So
I,
I was looking more into the Xi Kissinger thing, and it looks like he was talking about when Mao, Zhou Enlai, Nixon, and Kissinger effectively came up with the One China policy. and celebrating that as a net positive for China-U.S. relations.
I mean, yeah.
And he's saying, we're at a crossroads right now. We need like a good decision to go forward. But, don't want to go to war. That's not going to for anybody.
Yeah, it's true.
What did he say? Take relations steadily forward, peaceful coexistence, win. This is a lot of there was a good decision made in the past. We should probably do it again.
Yeah, gotcha. I understand that.
Sounds
All right.
like
That's cringe.
I mean, that's like the most in there. He did say specifically the Chinese people value friendship. We never forget our old friends, nor your historic contributions to promoting growth of China-U.S. relations and enhancing the friendship between the two peoples. So it seems he's talking broadly and about his role in the One China policy decision.
Well, I mean, in this case, he is correct. But when I just look at Harry Kissinger's face, he just looks like a melting bulldog.
I can't wait for him to die.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, no, that'd be pretty. That'd be a good day. We'll do a surprise episode.
Hey, how about, little do you know, what if Kissinger is low-key a communist? Just kidding.
That'd be cool.
Bro, you're pissing me off today.
Hey, man, don't you know all liberals are communists now?
Oh, my goodness gracious. So, what we wanted to do today, Muerte, because you weren't here yesterday. We went yesterday. Fuck. Whenever the last show was, we went over Haas, Dean, his Infrared motherfucker. Yeah, poopy trash. Anyway, he made a tweet a while ago called the Red New Deal, and we basically broke it down about why it's super trash. If you want to know why it's super trash, go back and watch that episode. But anyway, so we have this speech here from Lenin from 1919. What is Soviet power? And I thought it would be really cool for us to just read the speech together and to break it down and see how Soviet or socialist power was applied in the Soviet Union, and how what Lenin is saying in this speech could be applied to the United States, building socialism in what would be the former United States, and how it's, even in just a speech alone, is a lot more thoroughly thought out than some motherfucker on Twitter.
Right, some revisionist, idealist, non-Marxist, non-dialectical, non-scientific approach to what he thinks is socialism is, oh my god, that shit was absolute trash, bro. I saw that, I read it, I'm like, yeah, this guy's just shot against the post. That's what Lenin would have done. R.I.P. comrade.
Looks like we're gonna break out the censors again for YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry. We might have to.
Nah, it's okay. I got good sound effects. You gotta watch that last episode. But anyway, so I figured what we'll do is it's not a very long speech, so I'll read the first paragraph. Cruz can read the second. Muerte, you read the third, and then I'll read the last sentence. So let's jump into it. So I'm gonna read it, and then we'll just talk about it. Yeah. So, what is Soviet power? What is the essence of this new power, which people in most countries still will not or cannot understand? The nature of this power, which is attracting larger and larger numbers of workers in every country, is the following. In the past, the country was in one way or another governed by the rich or by the capitalists. But now, for the first time, the country is being governed by the classes, and moreover, by the masses of those classes, which capitalism formerly oppressed. Even in the most democratic and freest republics, as long as capital rules and the land remains private property, the government will always be in the hands of a small minority, 9/10 of which consist of capitalists or rich men. So, right off the bat, based. I mean, Lenin was the guy, and he was the guy. He was the guy for a reason because he so succinctly was able to conceptualize and verbalize this. I don't want to say new science because we understand that socialism is not a new science, but new to the enlightening workers of not only Russia but the world in the face of, the consequences of the Industrial Revolution. Not to sound so much like Ted K, but you get the point I'm trying to make. This transition that human society was going through.
Right.
And when he says, just to go, we don't have to go line by line, but just to get us to start, like, he says, the nature of this power, which is attracting larger and larger numbers. Like he's that's the thing about socialist ideas, and again, it goes all the way back to the science and why it is a science, because you cannot remove this idea from society, you can't expunge it. I've said it in past episodes. You can get rid of all of us, but someone is going to come back to the same conclusions, whether you call it one thing or another.
You could burn every text. You could wipe the internet of these ideas, and you could kill every single person that openly calls themselves a communist or a socialist. But because of the inherent contradictions created by capitalism, someone will inevitably go, why do they have all the power when we're doing all the work?
Right. And there will always be, because we are the only class that wants to abolish ourselves. We want to abolish ourselves as a class. We want to abolish all classes. and that's the thing, and that's why we have to recognize that the reason why the USSR and why these socialist movements are so successful is because they're an actual people's war. They're an actual people's war, and they actually fight for the liberation of people. And people and the masses aren't stupid. They're going to recognize that. So that's why it's, I guess I spout this every time. It's up to us to educate and never get tired of educating, and to keep this propaganda up going, keep building class consciousness and class solidarity with everybody. And when we had to turn it into a people's war, we can't, and just like, I guess it goes back to the class war thing, class war of anything, and we're the only class trying to abolish ourselves, and it will happen, comrades.
And I'll take it back to the beginning of this episode where we were talking about how, we've been a little depressed with all this stuff going on. But it's stuff like this that we have to keep going. We can't get tired of it. And as depressing and as many breaks as we need to take, like there's something we're fighting for. We're actively fighting for this. And Lenin knew it at the time. He did an amazing job at inspiring others to do it.
Right. You can't have omelets without scrambling a few eggs. Shout out Comrade Lenin, the biggest authoritarian, the OG authoritarian red fascist tanky.
Don't I call him a fascist.
I'm kidding.
No, I know. We do it all the time. I do it all the time too. Oh my goodness gracious! I'm just thinking of like the one goober who's gonna find 3-4 years from now when we don't even remember doing this episode, and someone's gonna find it and be like, "See, he said it. They're fascists." Yeah,
I think that just as a sidebar, like a tangent, that is the funniest thing about being online. Like you can say something, and then someone will come up to you like 7 years later and be like, "You said this. What do you have to say about this?" I don't remember saying that. Like, who's that guy?
For real, like I recorded this in the closet. Like I have no idea.
Like I don't remember saying it 2 days after I said it.
And that's why, like, a digital footprint is like forever,
Right.
And it boggles my mind because reactionaries on the internet, like on Twitter, openly, say crazy shit, and like. Recently downloading Facebook again after the longest time because I had to use it to organize. And man, like these groups, man, Facebook is so cringe. I don't know what's worse, Facebook or X, aka Twitter, downfall of Twitter.
I feel like it's Facebook for me because like Facebook is like I'm meeting people, like it's people I know relatively, like somebody I know who's been relatively conservative, libertarian. Like I saw him today post like, if you don't know who BlackRock or Vanguard is, they're controlling your life, and they're coming to get you. And I'm like, bro, you're so goddamn close to the point. You're so close. Like,
take a little more
oh god.
step. Another step. You got your foot in the door. I need you to enter.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and they mistake it with, instead of the capitalists and the bourgeoisie being the evil guys, it always goes back to like Judeo-Bolsheviks with the Jews. I'm tired of this shit, bro. I'm sick of it. It's the capitalists, it's bourgeoisie, and and it's just wild.
Well, Papa
Right
Lenin
wingers
said
are
it
delusional.
himself, that the country is one way or another is governed by the rich or it's governed by the capitalists. And in the Soviet and what will be in humanity's future is it will be governed by the classes, by us. And I do like how he said classes because while, to baby leftists, it's easy to be like, bourgeois and proletariat. But within those subsections are different classes. So I just think that, it really reinforces that, like, he wasn't just writing these books or whatever. Like, there was real substance to what he was saying. I don't know. It's just a small detail, but I really appreciate it.
I mean, it's a small but monumental detail. A lot of times when we talk about this, we do boil it down to proletariat versus bourgeois, but that's just the primary class, not the only.
Right, exactly. I heard what you said, but adjust your mic a little bit, my friend. You're
Yeah,
fading in and
just
out a little bit.
yeah. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
No, yeah, you, yeah.
Yeah. Quiet. You have to understand from my perspective, right? Because, like, I see this ring light, and it's so bright that I can't see anything else in the room, so I'm just looking at Cruz, like, bright in the darkness. And it's, like, intimidating, and it's kind of hot, and, like, oh my god, I can't look
I'm kind of
at the
stiff right
screen.
now. Not gonna
I
lie.
know. Right, but you know what also gets me stiff is this
Right.
speech. So,
Can you hear me though?
yes, we could hear you. God damn it.
I see you guys with the beautiful lighting, so I'm gonna pull a little bit out. That's
Oh,
all.
good.
Oh shit! He's also got the bi lighting.
I got the green and pink right now. That's
There
right.
we go. Hey, production value's going
Oh,
up, bro.
yeah,
All
my
right.
light just
I
died
fucked it
and
up.
get taken off the camera.
So you want me to read this second
Almost,
paragraph here?
but there's another thing here I want to point out.
Oh, yes.
Even in the most democratic and freest republics, as long as capital rules and the land remains private property, the government will always be in the hands of the minority. So, I fucking love that. I think that's my favorite part of that so far, because this is exactly the argument you can use against when you're arguing with your liberal friends. When they say, we want to be like Canada or Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
In both of those countries, again, capital rules. It doesn't matter what kind of social safety nets that they try to build or whatever ways they try to build themselves to represent to the people as if some kind of like nation of progress. As long as profit is the main motive, as long as the main mode of production is in the hands of the capitalists, they will continue to use and exploit labor from the third world to export wealth to their country. That is what imperialism is. So it doesn't matter. You cannot reform capitalism. You cannot liberalize capitalism. Well, I mean, it is liberalized, but that's a whole other conversation. Well, what I'm saying here is only socialism is in the future. You cannot have capitalism. That's not to say you can't have markets, but again, I know someone's going to point that out, but that is a different conversation.
And money will still exist for a while. And I like to, when I go to my coffee shop and I talk to the people there about communism and all that kind of stuff, they ask me, it's like, what kind of world do you want? And I was like, I walk in, I look around, and I say, I want this, but I want it communist. I just want
Right, do you ever get people who are like, yeah, well, it's good on paper, but then evil people get in control, and yeah, I've had several conversations about that, and
I like the
that's
response
why
that, capitalism doesn't even sound good on paper, though.
Right.
What capitalism works
sound good on paper.
Capitalism works exactly as it's intended, to oppress and to and to basically you know, it's just to oppress people,
Mhm.
and that's exactly what capitalism is. So it works in that sense, but it doesn't work in the sense of liberation of the
Right,
masses.
like it's not broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do.
You know, yeah, exactly, and that's why I say capitalism works exactly as it's intended, to oppress and repress and to be completely inherently evil, and the exact thing that they call every socialist state is they are authoritarian, which is why I say authoritarian is a liberal idealist fallacy, because it's always liberals using it, and every liberal government is authoritarian. What is considered authoritarian? Having a set of rules and laws against like, a people, like a body of people, is that authoritarian? Because if so, liberals are all authoritarian. It's just, they're the
Yeah,
most authoritarian in history.
I
I I,
think
I would argue.
I mean that it's just so much of the brainwashing from anti-red scare red scare propaganda that people hear authority and then it makes them have a genuine emotional reaction. It's a fear that, like, well, now my life's going to change. Your life is going to change, but it's one of the best things, one of the things that capitalism is so good at, and so is fascism, is to convince the worker that there is either no problems anymore or that the alternative will somehow
Stockholm
be
syndrome.
more oppressive than what they live under now. And you'll find that you'll encounter these people who will agree with everything you're saying. And I've had it happen at work before, where I've talked to people, and I'm a union leader there, and people have brought it up to me, and they're like, you're so succinct and da da da, and I agree with you and what da da. And then I've made comments before to some people where I'm like, yeah, well, I can't keep saying this because then they'll say I'm a communist. And then, like, I remember
Good.
I had somebody who I worked with at the time, and they were like, "Oh no, don't do that, no communists." And it's like, bro, literally everything I've been saying to you is that. But that was me, just testing the waters, to see what kind of reaction that they would have. But yeah, any final thoughts on that first paragraph, boys?
Mm-mm.
Cruz, you're underwater again.
What?
Oh, there you go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
with your
There you go.
Okay.
chest, with your chest.
Yeah. Gotta hold on.
There
How
you
about
go.
the chest? You have to get the machismo
We
Hispanic side
got,
out.
see, the view count's going up.
Where's my
All right.
cigar?
Uh-huh.
Oh
Just
my
the
god,
two
that would
papers?
be
I got my
based
camera?
as hell, bro. One day,
Communist,
we should just do this
Jesus.
whole chat in fatigues and berets.
Hold on.
I would love to.
I don't have one, you fuck. Don't put it on. All right. There he goes. Hey.
There we go. I'm
Ay,
about to go give me
papi.
I'm getting close with the brown berets here in my city, so I'm not gonna. I was thinking about maybe joining and being a dual member for like,
They're gonna
but
let you do that?
I don't know. But either way, if I can't do that, I'm still gonna stick with Frizzo. But I
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to help brown berets down here in my city. That reminds me of a brown beret cap. Besides, that one's red, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You dang caught me. I love it.
I need a little. I need the little star.
Yeah,
I
that's
got this
it. You gotta do the
at
star
the
thing.
military surplus store.
Makes me think of the NCR from Fallout. All right,
Nuke
Cruz.
every single capitalist country on the world.
Uh,
All right. I'm about to start reading this. Can you hear me? Am I underwater?
yeah, you're
You're
good.
good.
Okay. In this country, in Russia, for the first time in world history, the government of the country is so organized that only the workers and the working peasants, to the exclusion of the exploiters, constitute those mass organizations known as Soviets, and these Soviets wield all state power. That is why, in spite of the slander that the representatives of the bourgeoisie in all countries spread about Russia, the word Soviet has now become not only intelligible, but popular all over the world, has become the favorite word of the workers and of all working people. And that is why, notwithstanding all the persecution to which the adherents of communism in different countries are subjected, Soviet power must necessarily, inevitably, and in the not distant future, triumph all over the world.
Bass, bro.
I'm snapping.
I'm jacking, bro.
Fuck, me too. I'm stiff. It's just
That paragraph reminds me of during I can't remember who said it, but it was during the Mexican Revolution, where y'all might know. He said,
What does that mean?
Emiliano Zapata, probably.
"Bunch of fucking Latino, right? Shut the fuck up." Fuck. God damn it, a lot. Oh, I don't know what socialism is, but I am a Bolshevik. We are Bolsheviks. Like, and it dealt with this. Like, this event was going on, and it inspired people all over the planet. Like,
Right.
oh shit, there is another way for us to do. Oh, okay, someone said it in the comments. Zapata.
Yeah, Leo Zapata.
Yeah.
Base.
I'm just reading the paragraph again, just to myself to really soak it in what he's saying here.
It's just like, look, y'all, we did it. Look at this.
Right.
This is pretty cool. Y'all, you can do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
throw my hands up. Y'all do it too. We can make this better. We can do it.
And I like, again, it's demystifying history, because you would find that most people who are anti-communist or have reactions to the word socialism or whatever don't really know what. I mean, even a lot of baby leftists don't know what the Soviet means in Soviet Union. It's just kind of like, oh, well, it's a big scary word. When in this case, what he's saying is that the Soviet as a word means an individual organization of workers. So what is the word, etymology of the whole phrase being Soviet Union is just the union of working people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, this part. This is why, in spite of slander, that the representatives of the bourgeois in all countries spread about Russia, the word Soviet has now only become blah blah blah. And he goes on, and again, it's just applying more of like the history. Like, he's openly acknowledging already at that point that people all around the world, the newspapers, the magazines, and all these major cities all over the world are actively decrying. Just like how we hear these reactionaries talk about Niger or Gabon or any other country that stands up for its rights, China. They're bad, they're evil, they're coming to get you, the boogeymen.
They're anti-white. They want to kill white farmers. I'm pretty
They're
sure it was
gonna-
only the South American leader who said that like one time. And oh well, oh boo-hoo, cry me a river, bro. God damn.
They are destroying the economy.
Yes, and it was an apartheid state down there for such a long time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's where the word originated. I don't think it originated there, but
No, it was what is the Larry would know. God damn it! It's either the EFFP or EFP, one or the other. One of the major Marxist-Leninist party in South Africa. Yeah, and they had their whole rally and stuff, and it's really based. If you haven't seen that video, you should go watch it.
There's this one where he's like, "We support the LGBTQIA.
Mm-hmm.
No discrimination for gays and lesbians." I mean, it was badass. It was sick. It was really like inspiring, and I think my mutual pamphlets. Pamphlets is the one who uploaded it.
Pamphlets. Shout out to pamphlets. Pamphlets
Shout
always
out pamphlets.
be posting based stuff.
Right, and pamphlets always follows me back on any account that I make. So shout out pamphlets for staying loyal to the Stalin Jr. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
No, exactly. He Oh, I'm saying
Or
he,
they,
not
or
referring to
he or
pamphlets.
she,
So,
they,
no, I was
right? Because
I was trying to get back to that guy who was doing that speech that pamphlets posted.
okay.
Yeah, like he gave led this incredible rally, and it's like there's so much passion behind saying like, no, we do stand for, LGBTQIA. And I think that's super important, not only just for human rights around the world, but it really goes to show you that,
Makes me happy.
again, reactionary and capitalist forces instill patriarchy and they instill these stupid ass traditional values that are not inherent to any part of the world. It is something that you instill in people. So when we talk, the West talks about how they're the vanguard, they're the ones leading in human rights, and then all of a sudden, these liberals, who I'm sure would be shocked to see, what do you mean Africa? Pro LGBTQIA? Like,
Yeah,
and
then
what? And then
Right.
they're so shocked to hear that black people in a different country would not be inherently disdain towards LGBTQ people. And it's like, maybe you have your own issues to work out. But that's what the power of the Soviet would give you. That's what the power of socialism and communism gives you. It gives you true
Boom.
liberation of all people.
Fire. That was fire. That was
Mhm.
yes.
It's
Getting that tattooed. Okay. Well, do you guys have anything else to add? I could get started on this third part.
I would just say, at the end here, because I know definitely someone would take this the wrong way. Soviet power must necessarily, inevitably, and in not the distant future, triumph all over the world. Definitely someone hear that and say, imperialism, they're coming, they're coming. Well, I'm gonna drop some history. When the Soviets came into power, they offered places like Finland and the Ukraine, like, listen, y'all want to go. And, some nations made some decisions, both ways. And also, it was those dirty trots who were the ones who wanted Stalin to use force to bring Soviet power all across the world. And Stalin was like, nah, we can't force people to do it.
Mm.
They have to
I,
do it themselves.
hot
Yeah,
take.
Trotsky wanted to use the Red Army to just like force revolution around the world.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
trash.
Exactly. Hot take. I say this all the time to trots, and they get so confused. I call permanent revolution just a form of socialism or colonial socialism. It's literally colonialism because if you're gonna invade, if you're gonna just trample through these countries and without building class consciousness, without building class solidarity and all that, you're just gonna create more enemies. People are gonna become nationalists for their land that you're invading, that you're forcing them to do something without them being educated on why socialism would be good for them. It's just colonialism with fucking socialist characteristics. That's a hot take, and I don't really care. And someone's like, you don't understand the permanent revolution. It's exactly what Trotsky wanted to do, was take the fucking Red Army and trample through these countries and force them to be socialist.
And that's literally just, you're not going to win anybody by doing
No,
that.
And
no,
not only that, just like really think about it. He wanted to do it at a time when the Soviet Union would not have even been remotely ready to take on a task like that.
right. Idealist, super
He
idealistic.
he would have, he would have had the Red Army march into these other nations, get decimated once they hit a certain point, and effectively crush the spirit of socialism from people back in Russia that would have seen all these people die, and they go, well, this was no different than the other thing. So what's the point?
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. They would make comparisons to, bourgeois colonialism or and things like that, just regular colonialism. They would make comparisons and
And they
that's
can,
not
where people are just like, well, my conditions at this point were actually better than this ongoing war with, and I don't have food. They promised me food. I don't have any food.
right, right.
All
Because
right.
when there's war, there's famine, and
Yeah.
yeah. But you want me to get started on that?
No, you can finish your thought. I thought you took a pause, so I thought you were done.
Okay, I just wanted to say one more thing
Go for it.
to anybody who says that uh, the LGBTQIA community is a bourgeois deviancy or
Oh, please.
it traces back to fascism. You're a dog, and brick walls are invented for a reason. Indigenous communities for fucking centuries have practiced all different kinds of different lifestyles when it comes to genderism, and there's the two spirit. There's a bunch of other examples. I don't have them on me right now, but I have a list. Okay, but yeah, I'll get started on this real quick, and I just wanted to say that.
No, you're absolutely right, dude. Like, human beings have been living their lives the way they've been
Mm,
living their lives for hundreds and thousands of years, and that's the thing. That's the one of the worst crimes of capitalism is that it gaslights us so bad. I think even to us, I would say I'm going to cringe at this in a couple of years when I realize how much we've grown up. Principled Marxists. When we, and I say that because we'll only get more principled. But my point being that capitalism makes us think that history, the end of history, that everything has just been this way for
right.
super long, and that nothing has changed, and it's always been going on like this
It's
for thousands of years,
it's
but it hasn't.
human nature. It's human
Oh
nature.
my
Don't you know this,
goodness.
commie?
Mm.
It's human nature, you
It's human.
communist.
It's almost like human nature comes from the environment. Fuck me, right?
Right. It's
All
it,
right.
it's not it's almost like human nature comes from people's material
I
conditions.
don't know. That's some commie shit
Whoa,
right
whoa,
there.
whoa, whoa, whoa! What is
Commie.
fucking? What kind of podcast is this? This isn't what I signed up
Right. I thought we
I'm
were
ready
gonna
to
be
vote.
I thought we were gonna be voting harder and voting blue no matter
for.
who.
Let's
Voting
go
harder and reading more
Biden.
newspapers. We did. I can't
Let's
even say it.
go Biden.
We did start the podcast with two fucking.
Let's go Biden.
Someone's gonna sound clip that. All right, Muerte.
All
Uh,
right, I'll take
go
it
for
away.
it.
Okay. We know very well that there are still many defects in the organization of Soviet power in this country. Soviet power is not a miracle working talisman. It does not overnight heal all the evils of the past: illiteracy, lack of culture, the consequences of a barbarous war, the aftermath of predatory capitalism. But it does pave the way to socialism. It gives those who were formerly oppressed the chance to straighten their backs and to an ever increasing degree to take the whole government of the country, the whole administration of the economy, the whole management of production into their hands. Soviet power is the road to socialism that was discovered by the masses of the working people. And that is why it is the true road. That is why it is invincible. Lenin. Ooh, that fucking give me the shivy tivvies. I got butterflies in my tummy.
Hot fire. Hot
That
fire.
I think I'm convinced when Lenin was writing that his pen was smoking about to start on fire. That's how he is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's a typical Tuesday for Cruz over here. Comrade Cruz kind of writes on
That's
fire
true.
too. Typical
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Lennon got nothing on him. I I think about this might be seem like a really weird like comparison or thought, but have you guys played the video game series Metro 2033?
I played the first one.
Okay,
Wait, say that again. The which one again?
Metro 2033.
Mm.
Okay. Well, anyway, you don't need to know a whole heck of a lot about it, but basically, there's this one scene that always stuck out to me since I was a kid, because the game came out a while long ago, where you're the main character and you're like, there's nuclear apocalypse, whatever, monsters running around, and you're on like a trolley cart and you fall off the cart, and your character gets back up and you have to like run to like a barricade while there's like a bunch of monsters behind you, and there's soldiers behind the barricade and they have like a big flamethrower. And you hear one of the, and it's a throwaway line, but it always stuck with me. You hear one of the NPCs say, don't
My
fire.
leg!
Fuck you. You hear, that's what that guy said when he got shot across the border. My leg. Anyway,
Oh my god!
I'm only laughing because he didn't die.
Cancel.
You guys are fucked up. Anyway,
You.
you cut me off. I was having a moment.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. You're a bitch. Anyway, so you hear one of the NPCs say, don't shoot, give him a chance. And, like, I don't know, that, like, always resonated with me, because it's like, yeah, they're video game characters, whatever. But, like, just the writing of this scene of like these people like knowing that like if we shoot now this guy's gonna die and we just killed somebody, so we're gonna give him just that chance to get across, and you do obviously, and then you save the day and whatever. But the point I'm making is Lenin himself, he says it. He says, it gives those who were formerly oppressed the chance to straighten their backs. And when I've really broken down what I believe in, what I know to be true is that I think everyone deserves a chance. Because most human beings don't get a chance. They just don't.
Exactly.
Is this you coming out as being pro-life now? Just kidding.
Yep.
Here we go.
I'm just
I
kidding.
like when I
We
do
should.
Hey,
We
those
should.
couple cells have feelings, you know.
You gotta get us canceled, Muerte.
I'm
that.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
Come back to
Again.
this
I think
clip in a couple of years when we get canceled. Someone's saving all of this. So they'd be like,
Oh,
what
it's
the
gonna be
fuck?
really bad. Yeah, they're gonna be
I
like,
mean they're gonna I could see this like once we blow up. We're calling this right now. We're literally predicting this. Uh, um, Once we blow up, people are gonna come back to our old videos and take a lot of the things we said out of context. Like they'll just
Mhm.
clip a certain part of it and just kind of like blow it up. But like I think that's like the strategy of all like media companies or like news outlets and shit is that they all do that, right and left. I mean, liberals aren't left, never mind. Right and right. Um, they all do that. Like CNN does that with like Trump, and I'm sure the Fox News does that with Biden and other people. And it's just like, and I'm sure like other people do that to other political commentators.
oh yeah,
And so it's gonna happen no matter what. I'm pretty sure like there's already like uh clips of like even Hassan, who's like a Demsock, he's not even a Marxist-Leninist, of clips of him saying things out of context and shit. And
Oh,
he's
there's
almost been canceled. I'm pretty sure that's like a part of being on the internet. There's
there,
for sure,
It's
for
mainly
sure.
libs too that don't have class consciousness that
before
will
we
try
get
to.
too far away from this, but a slight tangent. There is a great video about that subject by FD Signifier.
Yeah, he's pretty based.
He has like a very long video about that exact thing.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's really good. Um, but I also like in this paragraph here that Lenin himself says that socialism is not perfect, and immediately, this argument, you guys want a utopia. I didn't say that, and he didn't say that. He
Hmm.
literally is saying that, and if this is true, and revolutionaries, baby leftists, principal Marxists, they need to understand that when we transition into power, and this is the thing that anarchists just cannot fucking understand, is when we seize power, day one isn't going to look very different.
No.
Like,
I
at
would say
all.
for weeks
So
to years, it's not going to look all that different. You're still adjusting. Like there are things that will get instantly rearranged, but a lot of stuff, like for the average person, the day to day might kind of continue the same way.
so you're saying me and my buddies can't wear masks, burn buildings, and go start a commune in the middle of the forest?
I mean, you
You
can,
can
but
if
Authoritarian?
you
might
want
not
to be like lip blunt, but I
go
mean.
for it.
Oh, don't bring that up, please.
Yeah, it's
That guy's
stupid.
getting the brick.
Yeah, I wonder
Yeah,
what happened to him.
he's in this paragraph. He is just saying this is not a utopia. We got a lot of work to do, and it doesn't go away overnight. We are paving the way to socialism, and on the way to socialism, there will still be a lot of contradictions that continue.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
the
But
path
that's
to
the thing is,
socialism is solving those contradictions. And even when we fully achieve socialism, that form of which we can't even really truly envision exactly what it's going to look like, but there will be contradictions within that form of
mm,
society as well on the road to full-blown communism.
mhm.
It's all stepping steps.
Right, and that's like the general. We have to take the general into the particularity. Man, you're really in the dialectical materialism right there, Cruz. That shit all like tickled my brain a little bit because I've been really studying that, and
Yeah.
I've recently just read On Contradiction by Mao, and
I was actually gonna bring up Mel with that because of something he had said in it, where he is like, this could happen in 10 years, it could happen in 100 years, it could happen in 1,000 years, or a meteor could hit the Earth and none of this matters.
right, right.
Yeah.
And everything is literally a contradiction. There's always going to be contradictions. There was contradictions before us. There's contradictions right now, and there's going to be contradictions in the future. Sorry, I had a burp. And we can't tell the future. So the best we could do is better our conditions now. And then
and on that same train of thought, there's another, Che Guevara in his work Socialism and the Man, where he talked about we don't know what a socialist man looks like a true socialist man, because that society doesn't yet exist.
Right.
So like we have socialists like that believe in it, but we don't have someone that has grown up and experienced full blown socialism.
Right.
mm, right,
Exactly.
that's
And,
true.
a hot take, and I know a lot of people wouldn't really agree with what I'm about to say, but as I try to explain to people who are interested in socialism, communism in real life, because they ask me a lot of questions, like, well, what does it really look like at the end of the day when we get to communism? And I tell them, I don't know. We have the idea of what we want, but I can't even tell you if that will ever really be achieved. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I mean,
But the idea is we have to try.
and
Hmm.
anything we theorize about now, like how it looks, like it could be a solar punk future, and there's solar panels and this high tech lifestyle. It could look exactly like we have now, where I've got a thing of honey, but no one got exploited in
Why
the
do you have
process of
honey on you
getting.
like that, bro?
I have honey in my tea.
Oh.
That's that European coming showing out.
Yeah,
Again,
I mean,
I
look,
also drink tea every day. I
yeah,
drink tea every day.
Nah, tea's bussin'. I just didn't think of
Okay,
it like that.
so but also with tea, it's like I want to still be able to enjoy a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, but I want no one exploited in the process. Like we could
Mm,
the world could technically look exactly like it does now, but we're not exploiting each other and we're not over exploiting the planet. Or it could look completely different, something I can't even imagine yet.
Right.
And we
right.
just
Exactly.
don't know. We just know what the only thing we can know is what we need to do today to start the process to get to that point, so that our children, children's children, their children, or children 100,000 years in the future can experience that life in the way they see fit.
Right,
Right.
right.
Exactly.
And I think this goes back to like idealists and even MAGA communists who ap- apparently have a plan, the New Red Deal or whatever it's called.
God.
And that's just only idealists. Like that's what they want to happen. It's
Just like
and I
anarchists.
could guarantee you it's not going to happen. I think the second that the bourgeois and the reactionaries are already lined up or in the labor camps, I think the Hazites and the LaRouchites and Margot communists, whatever, will be right behind them, right next to their fascist Nazbol brothers.
One of the
And
best things that could happen is that we do things so right that future generations look at us and think that we acted barbarically,
mm,
but we had to.
mm,
Based.
based, based.
All right, boys. Let me close off the speech. It's definitely not some kind of projection onto myself. Soviet power is the road to socialism that was discovered by the masses of the working people. And that is why it is the true road. That is why it is invincible. So, again, just hot fire, the pen, the paper, everything, the house is on fire. The Tsar's palace is burning down because, well, it already did at this point, but I
Based.
really the main thing I have to point out here is socialism that was discovered
Mm-hmm.
by the masses. And again, it eliminates this notion that Lenin invented it. Stalin invented it. God forbid Trotsky invented it. Marx invented it. Engels invented it. Fucking Hegel invented it. Like, no. This is an innate fact of the universe. And it is something that human beings have found. And they will find time again, and time again. Until humans are no more. And I don't know. Just incredibly smart man for the time.
If there is one thing to say is in fact human nature, it is our ability to adapt and cooperate, to move forward and improve life for ourselves. And it will be discovered in many forms. Socialism will take many forms. The current socialism we are going for is the socialism that comes from a post-capitalist society.
So you're a state capitalist?
Oh,
Wow, those glasses hit him right at the perfect time. Did you control that?
That was good. I didn't do that. Someone did that.
That was crazy.
That was great.
Wow. I love that. That was incredible. Did you time that?
No, I don't know.
No, the guy.
No, somebody donated exactly when he was saying
That's incredible.
That was perfect. I can't be cooler than that.
No, you peaked, bro.
I peaked. That's it. I haven't even released my first video yet, but I peaked already.
You
gotta get on
W's in chat.
Like the fancy camera.
I was gonna say, guys, that also on the national question by Stalin relates heavily to what happens post-revolution. It's up to these nations that are in these areas to decide their own fate, and if they want self-determination or if they want to work together to form a socialist union. It's totally up to these nations post-revolution. That's why it's super cringe when people make these like the United States Socialist Republics maps and it turns the states into like, no, you haven't read on the national question by Stalin, and that one is key to basically giving a theory to these nations. And Stalin was a smart man, and he actually wrote his own theory. Not a lot of people know that. So that's one takeaway from this. If you take anything, if you take anything away from this, one, subscribe, and two, read on the national question by Stalin. But number one, definitely go subscribe. Link in the bio.
Please.
Go, please. I'll give you forward kisses.
True socialism looks like whatever the people create for themselves.
Right, exactly, and that's the whole.
Facts, bro.
And that's why that's the whole point of.
Oh hell yeah!
Revolution is for the people to decide.
Nice. A real cow.
Look at this champagne socialist over here.
Oh shit! You know what? Next episode. I'm wearing my ranch hat. There's no reason why I haven't been. I always forget. I got it from Guatemala. I'm gonna do that next time.
I had one, but it got destroyed one day. I was wearing it, and it stormed really bad. And
what did it disintegrate? Dissolve? What happened?
It like got a hole on the side, like a tear.
Oh no!
And it was just like it was beyond saving. And I was like, it wasn't like a super nice one.
Oh dang!
I was kidding. Man.
All right, boys. Any final thoughts on that speech? I mean, it's classic, and I'm gonna be definitely.
It's interesting, it came at the end of March 1919, and it couldn't have come at a better time in that point in history because they were truly just building it at that point. There wasn't anything to look back on, and a lot of people probably post-revolution would have been very anxious and probably a little hopeful, but also scared because they're like, I don't know what's about to happen.
Facts. And I think that's one thing that
we're gonna work on it. We're gonna figure this out.
Facts.
And I think that's one thing I think people should do is give the USSR the benefit of the doubt because they were the first country to ever attempt socialism and was actually successful at it and provided us with even more theory, even more experience to learn from. You know, it's just if it's not dialectical if you instantly write off the USSR, because your professor told you they were authoritarian tankies, you know, and
Right.
I think that's just foolish. And even if you don't like them, even if you don't like Stalin, even if you don't like Lenin, and you're a socialist, and you should, but if you don't, you should still take their theory and their experiences with imperialism, and and revolution and socialism. You should take that serious, and you should learn from it, even if you don't like it. And if you don't want to learn from it, then well, sucks for you, I guess. Stay
And that
alive.
and that being said, like you just said, Marte, like, even if you don't like Lenin or Stalin or whatever, I would ask you to really consider why you don't like them. And I guarantee the reasons why you would be saying it would be authoritarian, military, whatever.
Mhm.
Look at the speech again, because this speech alone dismantles exactly what you're saying. It dismantles the permanent revolution, dismantles this notion of utopia. So, you know, if you choose to continue to believe that, even after hearing the words of Lenin himself, because this is a recorded speech, um, then you are saying one of two things. You're saying either one, the people of Russia were just too stupid to not know that they were being played. Actually, you know what? I don't even have a two. Really, just that's the main point. Is you have this notion that the people back then weren't intelligent enough to understand that,
No.
and I think you have your own racial classist biases you need to dismantle.
Ultimately, look, I don't care if someone doesn't like Lenin. I don't care if someone doesn't like Stalin. They're not idols. We're not idolizing them. They're men. They're people. But definitely need to look into their theory, see why it is that people do love them and treat them with the respect that they do. And if you read all of that, you learn about all that, however it is you learn about all of that, and you come out still not liking them as people, that's fine. Doesn't matter. They're dead. Take the theory, learn from it, improve upon it if you like have just that much disdain for them. Make it better. Do
Well,
it
right,
do it right.
right, exactly, and that's the thing. You said that they're dead. Like, that's the thing with these leftists, and I've said it myself too. I am guilty of it too. But like, do you support Stalin? You support Lenin? It doesn't You can't support them? They're dead.
Yeah.
So,
Read a lot of stuff by Stalin. I like the majority of what he had to say. If someone comes up and they're like, Stalin did this shitty thing, and I'm like, oh man, that was shitty. Glad he's not here for that. I'm still going to read his books.
Right. And usually
What's going to change?
when people say that, I'll just say source, because
Yeah.
Stalin is the most lied man. Like
Yeah, and
I,
that's it. It's really difficult.
there is,
right.
and I'm gonna go down this route, and I'm gonna die on this bridge, and I'm gonna go down the Grover route. I've yet to see one crime that Stalin has committed. One crime.
Oof.
Um, Not one crime. He's not committed one
He
crime.
robbed a bank.
Well, I mean,
Is it
it
really
was for the cause.
stealing from the bourgeois? I mean,
Technically,
the
the law
money's
at the time would say
insured.
Hey,
that
you're
that was a
breaking
crime.
bourgeois law. That don't count.
Right, exactly.
Technically, if I go on a technicality,
Rights for the bourgeois? Please, they're not people. Put them in the pit. All right.
Hey, well, hey, you're just as bad as fascist when you say that, man.
so,
You want to kill reactionary racists and fascists? You're just as bad as them.
it's true.
Yeah. Now face the
Like,
wall.
They're tanky, authoritarian.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, I think we did it.
I
all
think so
right,
too.
guys,
I think
it was
that
beautiful.
All right. Thanks for watching, homies. Check out the YouTube Poor Favor. Muerte will kiss you on the forehead, and I will kiss you on your head if you catch my drift. Watch the show. Bye.
Bye bye.